Minor difficulty just before the show. The darn computer crashed about 5 minutes into the show, and I just got it working, so everything didn't come quite as expected. I'm going to have to spend the first few minutes of the show getting things set up. I would like to welcome everyone. This is basically just your standard Friday night Murdathon. I'm going to go over a couple things. I had a whole presentation set up and it just kind of went poof. So we're going to have to kind of wing it here for a little bit. So I'm going to let everybody get settled. We got 9 viewers so far, so that's not too bad. Had some rather intriguing things happen today. We had the usual attacks by the grifters over on their various Twitter pages, which I thought was kind of interesting. Let me see. Just getting the graphics set up for the thing here. It's been one of these days. Making sure I got the spelling right. Because I spent about 2 hours setting this up just to have the only to have the computer crash. I'm not sure why it happened, but okay, that looks like it's going to be alright. Let me bring it up. Yep, that looks alright, and then I'll just... Okay, now we got that done. Oh boy, I don't like competing with Miko. I guess I'm going to have to coordinate my time, so I'm not... Unfortunately, Friday is the one day I have to do this for now, and so that's why I do it at this time. The only thing I suggest is anybody that wants to watch Miko, go over and watch Miko and see what he has to say. One thing I'm going to bring up right off the bat is I would suggest people go over to YouTube and at your convenience and watch the presentation by Levi. He's doing the first part of a 2-part series on the E-Clause murder, and I like Levi's got a very good commentary style. All right, and he does what I would call a podcast style broadcast. You don't see him on camera as much, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to his latest thing in here, and you guys copy it and take it and listen to it at your convenience. It's well worth a listen. He's been doing true crime based stuff for quite a long time, and this particular one might be of interest. I figured that, with Miko on, I'm probably going to have a little bit less on viewership tonight. This is probably going to be a little bit shorter than usual anyway, because I've got an early Wheels Up tomorrow, so I'm going to have to get ready for that. But what I want to do also is Alexandra Goddard, called Prinny. We call her Prinny, and she's got a new blog out too on the grifters, the Soviet citizen, or sovereign citizen. They might as well be Soviet citizens, but you can check her out too, because she's got some good information on this group of grifters that are out there, basically scamming everybody. And what I'm going to do while I'm getting set up, well, Mako is another YouTuber, and he operates a YouTube channel called Discuss. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to his show so that anybody that wants to watch that And what he's discussing now is, it says, tea time with Sheriff Michelle on the case of sovereign citizen Ariana Willis. I'm not familiar with that particular case, but he goes into more of the different people. So he's another good one to listen to. I'll put his in here. Another good one to listen to is Randy Davis. Randy Davis has got a good network of people, and it's always good to check out these different people that are into exposing the scammers. And Randy Davis also, with his group, he has an affiliated group called the Wolves, and what they do is they try and actually help people out, but they just don't jump into something like the scammers do. They take their time and make sure that it's a valid case to jump into, and see if there's anything they can help people that are having problems with CPS. And so that's basically what is going on here. So actually, no, it's not defamation. If you go over and see how Tim Homeseth writes his blog, he does the same thing. All Levi did was ask a question, so it's really not defamation. It's a question of, is these? Because, if Tim Homeseth can write in that style, then we all should be able to. Because I would suggest people go over and read Tim Homeseth's blog and see how he accuses people. I'm an alleged child rapist, according to Tim Homeseth. That's defamation. Yeah, I've been picking up subscribers one by one. I haven't checked my current. Let me. The last I checked, I was at 94. I'm only 4 away from the 1,000 goal, which is nice. See where I'm at now. Okay, I'm at 997. I was here before and I lost one. Now I've gained one back. So I'm 3 subscribers short of the 1,000 gold. And this will allow me, once I get to 1,000, is I can go into mobile live streaming. And there'll be a few other things I'll be able to do. Plus, I'll meet the requirements set down by the Florida courts for getting press credentials to be in the courtroom and text live from inside the court. I may not necessarily be able to live stream. Yeah, that's my current. I might not be able to live stream from in the court, but I will have access to their remote cameras and stuff where I can live stream certain trials from the press room. This is the Orange County, Florida courthouse. Now, the courthouse down in Fort Lauderdale does not have these facilities, and I'm not sure about Marion County. I haven't called the Marion County courthouse yet to see what the credentials to be. Sure, all I recommend people do is they can read my blog, they can read my Twitters, they can check out what I have to say and decide for themselves. I don't go around claiming that I'm third in line to the President of the United States and I'm part of some task force. I'm a retired truck driver that runs a channel. Now, there are people that have accused Homeseth of likely being a party to what's going on, just like he has accused people of being child traffickers. He's accused people of being child rapists. He's accused people of eating children's blood and drinking children's blood, I should say, and eating the children themselves. He's accused people of all sorts of things. He's accused me of all these things. And he does it on a daily basis. Within the last 24 hours, he's put up 2 Twitter statements to that effect. And one of his accounts, he's done it to the degree that they've actually temporarily restricted the one of the accounts because of what's been posted there. And it takes a lot to get restricted, and that's one of the things I was going to put. I'm going to see if I can find that. Now I do have defenders of these people come in here for whatever reason. They are so concerned about what I say on this channel, they have to come in here and troll the station. And Homeseth has already tried to sue me and failed. It was thrown out of court. So just bear with me a minute here. And why? Actually, it would be in the public interest to know that. This is a murder case, and every single solitary person that has had even the remotest contact with Neely Blanchard is either going to be looked at, questioned, or investigated by the authorities. And, well, Tim and Randy are defending themselves. They can't come in here under their own name. They have to use these fake names all the time. They come in here every night. And they're hypocrites because, they say things that apply to them but don't apply to me. They defame and slander me on a daily basis, and they do the same thing to others. They got me working with Craig Sawyer and all this, and I don't work with Craig Sawyer. I don't communicate with him that often. Every once in a great while. Yes, I approve of it. It's called freedom of speech. Look at Tigress. Look at what Randy and Tim do to me. It's mild compared to what they do. All Levi did was play Tim's own words, and he gave an opinion. They've implied the same thing to me. So, I don't care what Levi says about Tim Homeseth. It's fair game. We're just using the kind of the style that Tim Homeseth writes against him. He seems to be the only one on the internet that can talk like that. We all have to cow down and get on our knees and worship this guy and just let him loose on the internet. And it doesn't work that way. You start going around saying things about me on the internet, I'm going to say things about you on the internet. And it's going to be along the same vein. So, well, if Tim thinks that Levi defamed him, then let Tim sue Levi. I'd love to see it. Tim ain't going to do it because Tim knows it's the truth. I don't know what the hell I got. Oh, my microphone. Tim didn't have the balls to show up in court to defend himself. He hid like a little coward. And now we don't even know if he's alive or not. This is what's so funny about all this. Is we have not, this is the 27th of November. This is exactly 7 months to the day that we have heard nothing from Tim Homeseth. Just because you see writing in the blog doesn't mean anything, because anybody can write using somebody as a byline. And there's some real curious things about the way things were written in the log or in the blog. And Tim Homeseth doesn't have evidence of anything, and all he has is a bunch of hearsay, stuff that would never be admissible in court. And and then he seems to think that okay, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to get set up here. Now this is a blog that was written by Alexander Goddard. This is the um, first paragraph. I'm not going to do the entire blog. I've put the see if this is the right. Yeah, this is the right one. I'm going to get this up where it's readable, but you guys can read that. And so why don't you address that same standard to Tim Holmseth and Randy Lynn Erickson? You know, it seems funny. People come in here and they ridicule me for giving my opinion of things, yet they won't question theirs. I find that real interesting. So Tigress is probably just another one of these trolls that come flying into my station every time I'm on the air to whine and crying about a guy that's probably not even alive. Tim Holmseth has not been heard from since the end of May. This is the end of November. There's been no video, nothing. So it's my opinion that Tim Holmseth is more than likely dead right now. What in the hell is Luca Magnotta? You guys are coming up with new shit that I haven't heard of. I get a kick out of this one. This was in the latest blog, and it says, developing victim of Florida shooting dubbed the QAnon murder by media was a congressional oversight defense contractor working on matters of national security. Now, this is false. This is a lie, because this is not the truth, I should say. Now, it says that E-Clause is a contractor to the Department of Defense. If that was the case, there would be a record of it. You would be able to go to the General Accountability Office and the Defense Department and get the contract. Contracts are not classified. If you have a contract with the United States government, this is public information. It's the public's right to know, and they should be able to go in and get the actual contract spelled out, what it is that E-Clause is specifically mandated to do under this defense contract and how much they will be paid. So it says right here that E-Clause is claiming to be a defense contractor. This is a fraud. This is wire fraud. Chris Hallett also was not an attorney. He's not licensed by the Florida Bar Association. He's not licensed by the United States Bar Association. I don't care about all this crap that comes out of the sovereign citizen. A notary public is simply somebody that certifies that a document that is being submitted is accurate, true, and correct, that the people on the contract are who they say they are, or on the statement are who they say they are, but they have no jurisdiction in a court. They cannot act as a lawyer or any of that. And this is what Chris Hallett was accused of, and it is also what Kirk Pendergrass is accused of. Yeah, TN Lights, this is something that they simply made out up of thin air. It's like this Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. It is absolutely nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Pentagon. It's a fraud. And that's why... Whoops, wrong one. Let me take that out. That's why there's investigations into these people going on. That's why I spent 4 hours with the FBI in Minneapolis. These people are under investigation for fraudulent use of government trademarks, government websites, the whole 9 yards. The high command is in violation of federal law. There is no such thing as a loss prevention contractor for the United States Congress. It does not exist. I know how the General Services Administration and what is now the General Accountability Office works. And you just don't go on and put up a fake website and register under the fictitious name statutes in the state of Florida and become a lawyer. It doesn't work that way. All it is a piece of paper saying you formed a Florida LLC. But that doesn't mean a damn thing. It's not going to get you anywhere. Except maybe jail for falsely representing yourself. But this crap by Tim Holmseth is an absolute fraud. Well, he may have a job, but it's downstairs, not upstairs. But that's all I know is he ain't got a job on this planet. He's awaiting. He's probably in a vault somewhere in a refrigerator, waiting for his son to decide what he's going to do with him. Because they're taking the usual method of seeking donations again. And I'm going to be curious as to how much of that gets to the son and how much of it goes into somebody's pocket. I do not trust these people. So, well, there goes. Kirk is on the air. Anybody who wants to go Kirk and listen to Kirk, I guess can do so. Get yourself misinformed and lied to. Well, what Chris Hallett did, he found out the meaning of hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And the witness didn't say anything about anybody else being involved. She made it clear that Neely was alleged to have been mad because Chris did not live up to what he promised. That he basically lied. I love the fact that these trolls have to keep coming in here. It's just like cockwork. And nobody's stopping Holmseth because Holmseth's probably not even alive. This is my opinion that Holmseth is deceased. Well, if they keep E-Claws going, they're just... The thing of it is, whoever runs E-Claws is going to be liable for any law breaking that goes on. So if they start doing the same thing E-Claws is doing, they're going to wind up in jail. Because it's a fraud. So somebody will wind up getting prosecuted if they continue to run that thing. Well, I wonder if somebody's going to take up Rev It Up's offer to schedule a Zoom and hash it out. That would be interesting to tune in on. Kind of one of these put up or shut up things. Okay, I've been told that I just officially hit 1,000 people, which is good. I'm going to go check that out. Now, if we have finally gotten to the 1,000, I appreciate everybody that's helped get me there, because now I'm going to be able to expand what I'm able to do on the show. Let's see where we're at here. Well, we're at 999 right now, so we're within reach. So all I need is one more to get me to 1,000, and then, probably have about 5 or 10 more above the 1,000 to make sure it's consistent. But we're almost there, and I appreciate the help getting this far. And I'm going to try my best to earn your trust. So, thanks for the congratulations, folks. It was you that made it what's possible. So we're right there, folks. We're at 999 right now. So it won't be long, hopefully. And then I can start getting the live stream set up. I can get my credentials that I need. So we're getting there. And I thank Team Rev It Up, because it's part of those people that came over and subscribed that have helped a great deal. So I really put out my thanks to Team Rev It Up and the Wolves for their help. There's been a lot, this is not an individual effort. It takes a lot of people to get even to this level. And, I just got to live up to the trust that's been placed to me, having 1,000 people subscribe to this channel. So we take it one day at a time, and we'll, see what the future brings. And people should go over and subscribe to Randy and help him out. They should subscribe to Levi's channel. He's close to the Levi is close to the 1,000 mark. Last I checked, he's 940, so he hasn't got far to go. Yeah, we'll get there. It's takes time. And it's just, I've got to be able to deliver to people for them to want to take that step of subscribing. It's, I have hit the 1,000 mark as of right now. So we'll see if I'm able to hold that and expand it a little bit. YouTube usually sends a letter. This is not the first time I hit 1,000. I hit it before. And, I got to wait and make sure that YouTube is going to allow me to keep them. Because before they went through in about 2 or 3 days, I went right back down again. So, let's see what YouTube says. Okay, they haven't sent me a letter yet. Maria Arias subscribed. So they have not sent me the confirmation yet. They usually send the confirmation out once they get the algorithm. So we'll see how it works. But Maria, I do thank you. It's the last 2 or 3 people that have come in here have sent this over the top. So now we're going to see what happens. But now getting back to the matter at hand. Well, I try to make it entertaining. I'm going to be expanding the format. Now that I've reached this plateau, I'm going to be able to do some other projects that aren't going to have that much to do with true crime. It's going to be partly it's going to be other cases. It's going to be able to live stream while mobile. I'll be able to, do things all over Central Florida live. And I'll be more spontaneous. I'll be coming on the air, live streaming live, more often. So as we move along here, we'll see how it turned out. But now, I'm going to try. I want to bring something up. Well, that's the thing. There have been complaints made to the state of Florida about E-Clause. Alex Goddard wrote a blog, which I put in the room, and I'm going to see if this link comes through. No, that's Levi's. Or no, that's whatchamacallits. Maybe I'm going to link Alex Goddard's blog again, because she did she's an excellent writer, and she did a article on this latest development. Tim Holmseth has accused her of being a Satanist and all this other crap, and so that's. But they totally, the people over on Twitter can't read, apparently. But that's Alex's blog. You can check it out. This is the first paragraph of it. Because what E-Clause does is a complete fraud. But it's going to take oh boy, Chad has brought his fight with Randy into my chat. I really didn't want to get between you two when it comes to whatever dispute you got with Randy. I don't mind you speaking your piece in here, Chad, but do keep it to a minimum. Because this isn't supposed to be a sounding board for people that have disputes with each other. So I'd appreciate that much. Well, you don't have to leave, Chad. Just don't get into battles on here. I don't mind you coming in here and making valid comments and stuff. But what I don't want is to have arguments and, the kind of, I just don't want this to get out of hand, because what happens is these disputes just gives fuel to the trolls to use on their own blogs. I still consider you a friend, I consider Randy a friend, and I would just like to keep it that way. Well, I don't claim not to be honest, or I don't claim not to be biased. Certainly I'm biased. Tim Holmseth has been defaming me for the better part of a decade. Yeah, I don't mind you speaking about Timothy, Chad. That's a different story. Timothy is the subject here, but when you're getting into an argument with another live streamer, and and it's a live streamer that is in agreement with my position on Timmy. Me and Randy believe that Timmy's a scammer and a crook. We agree on that. But you have a dispute with Randy. And I've listened to both sides. But I'm not taking sides. And this is not a Chad versus Randy chat. This is a general chat about scammers. And E-Clause, Tim Holmseth, and the rest of them. This is not about disputes between two different bloggers. There are two different parties on social media. I stand corrected on that part. So the only thing I would appreciate is if you did not get into an argument on here. If you want to talk about Tim Holmseth or any of these other people, I don't mind. But just do the room a favor and let's not get into a big fight between you and Randy, because it's just going to throw everything out of control on here, and I'll have to shut the chat down. Now we're going to get I'm just digging here because I want to bring this up, because this thing about bias, all right, whoever is writing over on Timmy's blog, and this apparently is not, this is not defamation according to this person that's in here defending Homestead. I'm accused of inappropriate behavior regarding missing child cases. And if you go down, the blog makes this: Murtaugh, Sawyer, and others in the group published wanted reward posters for Timothy Homestead. Yes, there were posters published. I did not publish the posters. They were done by an individual that's not even named on here. Timothy Charles Homestead is a fugitive from justice. He has a warrant for his arrest for a failure to appear in court. He has 3 open cases for stalking a woman in Florida. He's too much of a chicken shit to answer the complaint, so he goes and hides under the skirt of some woman in southeast Minnesota. I'm accused of being a child rapist, a child murderer, and all this. And he's defaming me, and yet you guys come in here complaining about what we read about Tim Homestead. Well, the problem is what we read about Homestead in factual manners is true. It's being spoken by his own words. You can go over and listen to the video that Levi Page made, and Tim Homestead says in his own words that E-Clause is a fraud. So you just take Homestead's word for it. He put it out there. And another thing he put in there, this one, in a recent online statement, Murtaugh admitted that the FBI actually may be investigating him because of the things he told them. Yes, because I went to the FBI with stuff, and the FBI routinely takes and investigates people that give information to them. They want to make sure the information is genuine, that there's no ulterior motives. Tim Homestead admitted that he gave statements to the FBI, and I know for a fact the FBI investigated him because they wanted to make sure that what he said was for a genuine reason and not some false notification. And guess what? Tim Homestead is still under investigation by the FBI because of E-Clause, and also because of Cynthia Abzug and some of these other cases that are going on. And now, because he's been connected to Neely, he's going to be investigated for that. Because the government, the law enforcement is going to investigate every single solitary person that had some connection to Neely Blanchard, because they're going to want to cross the T's and dot the I's when it comes to this investigation to find out exactly what happened and why. Other than the fact that a woman basically executed a man in his own house. And the FBI monitors Tim Homestead, he monitors Randy, they monitor all of us. Because they understand that something's going on, and they're going to get to the bottom of it. So, Tim Homseth is going around saying he's this, that, and the other thing, and that's what's going to get him in trouble. Because he's falsely claiming to be an agent of the United States government. And he's not. He's an unemployed pizza delivery driver running around in a car full of junk, if he is still alive, spreading lies and committing fraud. It's that simple. And the only one right now to blame is Neely. She's the one that shot the guy. And there's going to be an investigation. It's going to come out. If there's anybody that aided and abetted her, it's going to come out. And if anybody else is involved in that, it's going to come out. Because there's some unanswered questions. We still don't know where the gun came from. And right now, we don't know where the gun is. Now, the blog also stated that there was no gun residue test done on Neely. Well, we don't know that for a fact because they're not releasing that information. You know, nobody knows whether or not a gun residue test was done. Only law enforcement knows that. And, you know, it depends on how much time has elapsed between the time she used the gun and the time that they would perform the test. If she washed her hands and stuff, the gun residue might be gone, so they may not be able to run a test. But what they're going to do is they're going to find the gun, they're going to do a ballistic test using the casings that were left at the scene, and they're going to match the casings and the bullet up to whatever gun committed the crime. And once they've done that, they can check and see who the gun is registered to, if it's a registered weapon, and do a chain of custody to figure out how the gun got from the registered owner into the hands of Neely Blanchard. And so that's going to be something that is going to take some time. And there is going to be, yes, law enforcement took all electronics out of the house. Cell phones, computers, all of it. They took everything they could get their hands on. There was bags and bags and bags of stuff that was removed from the house. And the electronics is going under forensic examination. Law enforcement is going to all the addresses of people that had anything to do with Neely, including her, it's either husband or ex-husband, who is in a military base in Pensacola, to question him. So there is an ongoing investigation, and because of the fact that it's an ongoing investigation, they are not releasing any information. You know, you can do FOIA requests and you're not going to get the information because there's a lock on all evidence, and that includes evidence out of the state of Georgia. Florida has put an embargo on all information, all videos, all 911 calls, and all of that. So until the state of Florida decides to lift that embargo on this information, we aren't going to get it. And right now, all that's being done is people are running around speculating, like they do in all of these cases, about who did what and why. You know, and it's based on what's out there now. Neely Blanchard is the only one responsible for what happened. Why have we got a phone number up here? Yeah, somebody put a phone number up here, and I don't know what the deal is. I have no idea what a Crown agent is. It's probably... Yeah, sure. It's more than likely that Neely confided to her mother. Again, that's all going to come out in the investigation. 202 is a DC number. Wait a minute. Well, 202 is a Washington number, so that must be. Somebody's probably put up a number for a. Well, FOIAs are eliminated, but last I checked with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the case is still being investigated, and because of that, a lot of information about the case is not going to be released right now. I don't know anything about Chris Hallett's mother. I was told that she was living in the residence. I don't know if she's going to take over E-Clause or what's going on with her. I have absolutely no information about his mother. All I know is the son is, from what I read, the executor of the estate right now. He was 50 some years old, so his mother would be at least 70, 75 years old. And there's no telling. I did check. I'm going to check again just to make sure. But because of the coronavirus, trials are kind of in flux. And 18th of August. Okay, nothing has happened in the Field McConnell case. Everything is still on hold. 62, she's that young. Because, see, Chris Hallett is 50 some years old, so that would, she'd have to be, she would have had, I don't think she had children at 12 years old. Was a jest, dude. Alright. But I would say at a minimum, she's anywhere from 70 years old and above. Yeah, Australia has extradition in the United States with the United States, but I don't think anybody is going to be going to Australia that has to do with this case. Okay, I bounced back down to 996 again. This is probably going to keep happening. Not sure. This is the problem with when you get here is that you go up 5, you go down 5, you go up 5, you go down 5. So we're back down under 1,000 again for a while. Oh, I don't mind a little sarcasm. I just, don't worry about it. Yeah, if both of you wouldn't bring up the fights in here, I'd appreciate it, Chad, and wrap it up. I just, you know, I like the both of you guys and consider you friends, and I'd like to keep it that way. Oh, Levi, Rev It Up and Chad have had a disagreement that went back to um, Rev It Up's show here a few days back. I don't know if it's fighting so much as just a heated discussion, but well, I love you too, Christina. Wow, 45,000. That's a lot of people. You know? Good. Congratulations on that. I'm just content to get it up over 1,000. I don't have, you know, if I can get it over 1,000, can keep it over 1,000. That's what I'm trying to do. Um, I just get the biggest kick out of this. Well, you know, eventually, if enough people subscribe, Searcher, eventually it'll get above 1,000 and stay there. It takes time um, to get it there. Yeah, our friend the Lion King is running around creating problems again. He likes to barge in where he's not wanted. Yeah, that guy apparently doesn't have a life up there. I appreciate it, Searcher. Yeah, if we can get, you know, we've only got, you know, 4 or 5 people that get it up above the benchmark and keep it above there. Because for some reason it was up there briefly and then it went right back down again. And so, you know, I don't know if YouTube is doing it or people change their mind or what's going on. There, let's see what's going on over here. Proclamation on World Internet. I'll read about that later. Well, thanks for your effort, sir, Searcher. I appreciate it. Well, have fun at work, Searcher. Appreciate your efforts. Feel free to come back. I make daily videos when I'm not on chat here. I agree with you, Randy. It's yeah, Neely. They never should have intervened in her case. She has a violent temper. This is not the first time she's committed an act of violence, but yeah, she just got angry enough, and gun got involved somehow, and the rest is history. He likes to write really, really, really long emails. I mean, it's like he's writing a book. And I'll tell you, I've been putting up with Timmy's nonsense for almost a decade. The way the story was relayed to me was that uh, they went there to try and get his belongings so that they wouldn't get thrown out. And the car that he had at the time and his property were stored until such time as the property was able to be picked up. And Chad, you can comment on that since you were the one that told me about it. Somewhere in the depths of my videos, there I interviewed Chad on the air a long time ago. The graphic is a blog that was written by someone on Tim Holmes' blog, and it's a headline that claims that Chris Hallett was a congressional oversight defense contractor working on matters of national security, which is false. There is no contract with any government agency by E-clause. Never was, never will be. They're not qualified to do what they say they do. The whole thing is one big scam. It's fake. It doesn't exist. All they did was register as an LLC and abide by the Florida fictitious name law. That's all they did. And Chris Hallett had a notary public license, which does not have anything to do with practicing law. Well, looks like we're still having a disagreement here. I guess I'm just gonna, it isn't getting. TN Lights, that's partly true. Chad Cater considered himself a friend of Tim's. He used to go to court in support of Tim back before he was arrested. Um, and Chad can tell the story, but Randy got in the middle of everything and destroyed whatever relationship there was between Chad and Holmseth. And I remember hearing the video that Tim made falsely accusing Chad of a number of things which were simply not true. I got that verified through all parties involved. Now, Chad did pick up stuff from the apartment, and there was a photograph of his son that was on a flash drive that somehow made its way around the internet. And there's somebody also told me that the oh, hi Nan, welcome. Sorry to hear about your dog. Just a general chat going on tonight. My chair? It's a standard office chair. It's an old chair. I got to replace it eventually because it's kind of worn out. Just haven't got around to it. Chad did not post the picture as far as I know. The picture was sent to a number of people, and I pixelated out his face and I cut off the image so it didn't show his face, but other people may have shown the entire image and identified the child, which I didn't totally agree with. Yeah, one of these days I gotta find out how to put the chat on the main screen because it would serve. Because I noticed when I play it back on my 70-inch TV, the chat doesn't show up. Um, I know I got a copy of the picture. But I was Chad. There was another individual besides you that somehow had a copy of the picture. Uh, I had more than one individual send me a copy of the picture. One was redacted and the other wasn't. Um, oh, there's nothing wrong with the chair, non. It's just old. I mean, I've got a cushion I can put on it. It's not a bad old chair. It's just I'm going to get a gaming chair eventually because I'm tall and the back of the chair doesn't come up high enough, so I got to have something I can lean my neck back. So I'm going to get a gaming chair eventually. I just haven't had the time to go pick one up. Plus, when you get one chair, then you got to get rid of the other one. I've had this chair for years. This came out of my office up at the dealership. Now, I was accused of posting the picture of the child without redacting a space, and as best to my knowledge, I did not do that. Now, if someone brings up a picture sourced by me that has the kid unredacted, I will stand corrected. But, I was under the impression that, I edited the picture in such a way that his head was not shown. So, now there's no proof of life on Tim Homseth as we speak. The last confirmed knowledge that Tim Homseth was alive was at the end of May in a since taken down Facebook account where he did one of those brief videos where he gets on Facebook video and does a chat. He hasn't done anything of that nature since. There hasn't been any videos of any kind by Homseth other than materials from the past set to music. And it's basically like a PowerPoint presentation. I've done similar videos doing that method, but nothing new. I know what something I'm going to pull up here. Let's see. Yeah. That's what it says. I'm one big freaking ray of sunshine. Novelty shirt I picked up a while back. Now this thing that I just put up, the High Command, which is supposed to be part of the United States government, is temporarily restricted because of content they put on their Twitter account. And when you go in and check, they haven't tweeted a darn thing in quite a while. So this supposed government agency has been shut down by Twitter. Effectively shut down because they can't do anything because of Twitter saying, nope, you're temporarily restricted. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And what I'm doing is I'm adjusting it. I mean, you can still, if you're not blocked, you can go ahead and read the account, but you'll notice that they haven't been posting anything because they've been suspended by Twitter. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of funny. But he does not own the account. Because what happened was that Levi Page may have been it may have been the task force, but Levi Page sent a DMCA to the owner of the Twitter account for stealing his material. And lo and behold, it was Randy Lynn Erickson that wrote back and said, fair use, and she admitted to being the owner of the Twitter account. Not Tim, her. And this is why I base a lot of my opinions on where Tim is not, because she owns the blog. She said as much in the letter to YouTube. So, it's not Tim Homeseth writing. It's her or someone writing under Tim Homeseth's tagline. That's why I say what I say about Homeseth. I don't have a copy of that notice because it's scrolled off. I had it on a Twitter feed and it scrolled off. I'd have to go look for it. And Tennessee Lights, that would not be the first time that Tim Homeseth has had an account suspended by Twitter or by YouTube or by Facebook. And so now he's over, on BitChute where hardly anybody does anything. It's kind of a last resort for these weirdos to go and try and do something. Well, anybody that knows anything about notary publics knows that it is not a license to practice law. It's a license to be a notary. I had a notary stamp when I was a car dealer because I had to be a witness to statements that were made by the customer when I went to do their registrations. Real estate brokers, it's common for them to have a notary stamp. And you can go out and get a notary stamp, and you can charge $10 a pop for stamping a piece of paper, and in some states you can actually officiate weddings. Kind of weird, but it's one of the things you can do as a notary public, depending on where you're licensed at. But all it is to make sure that paperwork's in order, or if somebody wants to make a statement and swear to it, they can go to a notary. Although there's the validity of the oath is limited because it still has to go to a court of law. So, the Field McConnell or Chris Hallett was in no way, shape, or form authorized to practice law. So that's and they in the article where the one headline comes from, they put up his notary license, and if you go and check, power what is a notary on any Google, it'll come up what a notary is. And this maritime admiralty thing is a bunch of hooey. People, they come up with these weird terms, and you can tell people have not taken American history. They don't know how this country was formed. They don't know how the legal system or the form of government was formed and where it derives from, as well as our legal system. So, I'm trying to, E-Clause is not the source to go to for that kind of information because they've got it all wrong. Well, again, I am not an expert. If you don't want to believe what I say about any of this, that's your prerogative. I do not claim to be an expert in anything that has to do with the law or anything else. It's my opinion based on information that I have, plus my education. When I went, when I was going through my Well, fine, Chad. Again, I'm not an expert on it. It's just I do not believe what E-Clause says about it. There are no dry docks and this crap. I don't believe in it. Period. We're just going to have to agree to disagree when it comes to this stuff. I would like to know what section of the Constitution where there is a specific term to maritime law in the way it's defined by Chris Hallett. It's just, both Field McConnell and Tim Holmseth were treated fair by the law, and their claims are bogus. If Tim Holmseth thought he was innocent, he would come to court. He's only being charged with 3 misdemeanors, and even the contempt of court is a misdemeanor. They're not serious charges. But, I just, that's anything that has to do with sovereign citizens, I have to disagree with it, because I think sovereign citizens has got the wrong take on the law. And again, I would like to know what amendment in the Constitution discusses this. Maritime law is separate from the United States Constitution. It has to do with being on the seas. It has nothing to do with land law, which is entirely different. And maritime law is international law. Totally separate. Matter of fact, let me... Come on. Maritime law, also known as admiralty law, is a body of laws, conventions, and treaties that govern private maritime businesses and other nautical matters, such as shipping or offenses occurring on open water. International rules governing the use of the oceans and the seas. Neither of these have anything to do with what is going on with Tim Holmseth or Field McConnell. They use these terms without understanding what they mean. The shirt came from Walmart. Now I don't know, being in California, you might be able to go to a Walmart or one of the touristy places in California and pick one up. But this, I just happened to see this in a Walmart one day and picked it up. I got 2 or 3 shirts that I got from Walmart. Yeah, well, they throw these highfalutin definitions out there. People are going to go and, they may look at maritime law and says, oh, there is such a thing as maritime law. But what they're not going to do is research to see what a maritime law applies to in relation to anything else. And that's what, they take advantage of it. They misdefine what this stuff is. And this is what Tim Holmseth does and what he discusses. Is he misrepresents what it is he's doing. Now someone did on his name, did an article and they had pictures of tunnels and stuff like that, and what that had nothing to do with kidnapped children. That was drug smugglers having these elaborate tunnel systems between Mexico and the United States border that they were transporting drugs. And it was SWAT teams and what have you that discovered these things. Had nothing to do with children. And this is, it's like the shoot tree things that Timmy did. That has nothing to do with children. It's something people have done for decades. And Levi Page isn't evil. Tim Holmseth is the one that's evil. And I got somebody in here that's well, figured enough was enough. I just went ahead and removed the troll from the room. Don't need this kind of nonsense in here tonight. Well, Timmy's jealous of Levi because of Levi's success. And Timmy is gone. He's insignificant. He's a complete and absolute failure. It's just, I don't know why these accounts bother to come in here and troll my chat. The color law. It's just they throw these terms around and they're meaningless. But it's not so much these stupid theories, but they butt into these cases where desperate mothers are trying to get their children back, and they make the situation worse. They give them bogus paperwork that are worthless. The mothers show this to the sheriffs or other law enforcement, and they get laughed at. And then they get driven to kidnap their own children. Well, people are welcome to go read for themselves. Oh, the fake task force came in here finally. And the task force is going to go bye-bye. Task force, why don't you go and start your own channel? Why do you come in here? Is it because you've gotten kicked off? It's funny, Task Force has nothing constructive to say. She just comes in here to troll. She has her own channel. And makes false accusations with no proof. Well, that'll take care of that. This like clockwork, every night, this troll comes in here. Amazing. Yeah, I was wondering how long it was going to take Task Force to show up. You know, I'm an hour and a half into the show, and all of a sudden, bam, here she comes. But it's, you know, Task Force needs to grow up. I mean, she's housing a fugitive from justice. She's breaking the law. She's breaking her oath of office. You know, there's an oath that she took if she holds this office she talks about, which says that she would defend and protect the Constitution of the United States of America, and she continuously violates that oath. You know, they must be bored at that house up there in the north that they come on this channel virtually every time I'm on the air. It never fails. They make themselves look foolish. But you know, when you don't have a life, I guess that's what you do. You go trolling other people's stuff. Command posts. Just found out that he's got another account. He just cannot stay off Twitter. Sad, really. Illegally using the trademark of a federal agency, so he's right at it. Eyewitness at murder scene. Defense contractor. Wow, this is new. Let me read this. Eyewitness at murder scene of congressional oversight. Defense contractor says she could not connect to 911. Really? I got news. And then why was the witness able to connect? Well, that's kind of interesting because he has a home phone. If she can't get anybody on her cell phone, she could call using his home phone. I mean, is the woman that dumb that she can't figure that out? And how do we know this is true? We haven't heard anything from the witness to that. But that's how Timmy operates. He gets banned, he turns around and creates another one. No, I kicked her out. Yeah, she can go over and post on her Twitter channel. Just, you know, they're violating Twitter rules. They're creating channels, which is a violation of Twitter rules. Well, Levi, she didn't leave voluntarily. strange bunch of people up there. There must be something in the snow up there. But, oh well. Well, they have to have brains to rot to begin with. So they've already failed on that count, but, you know. Says, I've never seen anybody go through so much trouble to post weirdness. These people are definitely out in the outer limits. Because it's all crap. All they're posting's a bunch of crap. And it's going to get to the point where people just aren't going to pay any attention to them. Because the longer we get into 2021, the more this stuff is going to fade. People are going to move on to something else. So it's just, you know, they waste their time. There's plenty of other things they could talk about except this crap. But that's all they're capable of. So they're basically talking to themselves. Whatever. Well, that's funny. If there's no such thing as a real attorney, then Field McConnell needs to fire the one that he's got, because the guy's not a real attorney. I mean, why has Field McConnell got that guy representing him if he's not a real attorney? So he should let the guy go and say, well, you're not a real attorney, so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to hire Kirk Pendergrass. Yeah, it's kind of funny you notice that Kirk Pendergrass isn't representing Field McConnell. And Field McConnell's not representing himself. He's got one of those attorneys that's not a bar attorney representing him. So, figure that one out. Tim Holmseth couldn't even hold a job as a janitor. He got fired from being a janitor. Kind of hard to do. Yeah, he probably doesn't even know how to fix a car, which is what he's supposed to be an expert in. Jesus. I was told that the Field McConnell thing actually got its start way back with a Canadian. Can't remember his name right now, but he was the one that kind of got things rolling. Oh. Boy, old task force, you just gotta keep coming back. And I'm just going to keep deleting. So if you want to take the time to post, the minute you post, I'm going to delete you. Jeez, people are weird. What is this thing with men's underwear? Why, are you not getting it or something that you're worried about people's underwear? My God. This is no wonder this woman's kids don't want to see her. No, I'm not scared. Why are you scared? Why do you even bother to come in here? Huh? This is what I don't understand. You're lying about me over on your... Trump is in control of anything. He's as delusional as you are. I'm going to go get a Pepsi. I'll be right back. Let that fat turd talk for a while. No, Trump did not win the election, you stupid broad. But, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't understand. Trump is supposed to be this big friend to Tim Homseth, yet he can't get him out of trouble. Tim Homseth, if he is still alive, hasn't been seen. Why isn't Tim Homseth doing any videos? Answer that one. Since you seem addicted to this channel, why not answer those questions, Task Force? Here we go. Defamation of character. The sewers, Chad. There's been at least a dozen people that said that Tim Homseth was a pig. Randy even admitted it. Randy wrote that Tim Homseth's apartment, when she met him, was a pigsty. Of course, that's wrong. I have, and it's in my videos, the statement from Randy Lynn Erickson that when she first met Tim Homseth, his apartment was an absolute mess. That he was living in a pigsty, he wasn't taking care of himself, he wasn't taking a bath, any of that. It's right there in writing. So I don't know why you're lying about it. The proof is already out there. And why hasn't Tim Homseth done any live videos? What is he hiding from? Or did one of you guys kill him? It seems to me that the evidence is there that Tim Homseth is not alive, that he is dead. So... I've been to the apartments, Task Force. They are not upscale. It's Section 8 housing. Hell, I parked right in front of a garage that had no door. Place is a shambles. Hell, all you have to do is look at the floor around the picture of the child and you can see the mess. Pants on the floor, papers all over the place. So if you want to dispute things, you can take it up with the landlord of the apartment complex. You see at Tim Homseth, he doesn't even comb his hair. There is no such thing as the devil. Jeez. I missed a lot because I didn't know Tracy Joe and Daniel were together. Oh, Task Force is a rape apologist. Task Force supports rape. Well, what do you know? You know the cases will not be overturned, so, you know. Timmy is handsome. Oh my God. Oh well. That explains why you're cheating on your husband. Do 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 do. She's blind. She's blind. Simply irresistible. Case was a minor. She was a teenager. And you're saying that that girl lied about being raped? You know, you're and pedophilia and all this would be supporting a pedophile. That's exactly what you're doing, Task Force. You are supporting a pedophile. That's amazing. I am not working with Greg Sawyer. Where do you get that from, Task Force? I don't work with Craig Sawyer. I rarely communicate. I don't think I've communicated with Craig Sawyer in weeks. And minimally at that. You know, you come up with this stuff with no... What proof do you have that I work with work with Craig Sawyer? I'd love to know that one. Well, Chad, it's hard to know who it is because I do not believe Tim Holmseth is alive. And you know, it's nobody has seen or heard from Tim Holmseth in 7 months. Live video by Tim Holmseth with a current newspaper or a current TV program or something current as a proof of life, and that would be the end of the debate. But he won't do it. Not a 5-minute video. He won't do it. Now, it's not considered a psyop. It's considered fraud, and that's what Tim Holmseth does. It's an opinion, Grace. Tim Holmseth has not been heard from in 7 months. Why? That might be. If Tim Holmseth is in a mental institution, we'll never know it because of the HIPAA laws. That's the only other explanation other than he's deceased. And presumed dead. But Tim Holmseth, you see, he's known for not being around. So, I'm agnostic. Loyal Star, you know, Holmseth doesn't believe in it. Or Randy or any of these other people. They lie constantly. You know, they don't obey any of the 10 Commandments. So why believe in it? Shar, I have no idea what you're talking about. But, you know. Hello, Loyal Star. Minnesota has a it's the other way around. Tim is jealous of Levi because Levi gets all the positive attention and Tim has to go into hiding, or he may not even be alive. Tim Holmseth is an absolute positive failure. He doesn't have the balls to go into court and defend himself. And here he pretends to be third in line to the president. A guy that close to the president won't even defend himself against a misdemeanor. That says a lot. I mean, this is a freaking joke. Trump can't pardon Tim Holmseth because he's charged with state violations, not federal. Trump can't touch state law. He could call up the governor of Minnesota and probably talk the governor into something, but Tim Holmseth is a guy that's had children out of wedlock and won't even pay child support. That Tim? Yeah. Well, we're having trouble with the account, I can see. But task force doesn't have a list. Gotta come in here. More false statements. Do. Oh, I thought Task Force was friends with Dr. Tammy. What happened there? That's new. It's funny that Task Force refuses to answer why she made false statements about me on Twitter. Kind of a cowardly thing. She'd rather talk about underwear. She has a fetish for underwear. Oh, really? Everything you say is false. If you're affiliated with the government, you'd have the paperwork. You do not have any paperwork. I've talked personally to the two representatives of the Pentagon. They never even heard of you people. More defamation of character, Task Force. It's funny, for someone that's supposed to be a government agency, you people troll a lot of small YouTube sites. I've only got 30 people on here, and you're one of them. It's amazing. No, I'm not working with Monograph. I haven't talked to Monograph in I don't know how long. I haven't been paying attention to them, actually. You know, you make all these stupid false accusations and then you can't back them up. So, I don't know. Amber, everybody. I'll have a cute dog moment. You mention underwear all the time. Every time you come in here, it's about underwear. You know, you have this obsession with underwear. I mean, what is the big deal? So somebody lays down on the bed in underwear. You can't even identify the picture. You know, that's sick. You know, you just admitted you talk about it. Well, I guess that's between you and Randy Davis, I guess, Task Force. You know, you're stretching things. Ugh. I'm right. All right, Amber. Time to go. Go do your dog thing. Ugh. What's wrong? Why do you even care about Levi Page? That's what is your obsession with Levi Page? You know, this is the thing. You are supposed to be for missing and exploited children, and yet you come in here, you defend rapists, you're a rape apologist, and then you just defame people for no reason. You know, I don't get it. You don't even live stream on your own channel. You come over to this channel constantly. It's really, really weird. I mean, this perverted task force is supposed to be affiliated with the United States government, but they don't. You know, this is the kind of agencies we've got with the government, and these agencies need to be shut down. No, why? My windows are not open. Why that question? I don't understand it. It's 90 degrees out. My windows are not open. That's a stupid question. Boy, if he's a lot lizard, he's not a very successful one. Nobody'd want to go near that smelly thing with a 10-foot pole. Task Force, have you met any lizard people lately? Or fish people? Well, apparently you don't know much about society. And you simply, again, you seem to be obsessed with underwear. Men's underwear. People dressed in underwear. What is this deal with you and underwear? Why are you even concerned with people? Other than, you're supposed to be part of a government agency trying to do something about kids that are in K's and stuff, and all you do is talk about somebody laying on bed in their underwear. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah, you're obsessed about the stupidest things, Task Force. Really. I mean, nobody's going to believe what you're saying here. I mean, you come in here and you waste your time. You make yourself look like a complete ass. Yeah, it's kind of sad, really. You know, this is the middle of November. I'm surprised you're not out ice fishing or something. Kimma versus Timma. You know, Kim doesn't give a flying fuck about anything you do, Task Force. She doesn't even pay attention to any of you guys. You know, she's out going to air shows and having barbecues and stuff. She doesn't do any of that. My windows are not open, Task Force. So I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what you're hearing. If you're hearing a background noise, it's not anything to do with open windows because my windows are not open. So. Well, Tennessee Lights, there won't be any pardons for either Field or Timmy because they are state cases. They're not federal. Trump doesn't have any power to do anything about state. You know, if Tim and Field were who they claim to be, they wouldn't be in the situation they're now anyway because, Trump would have called up the governor of each state and said, leave them alone. And Trump hasn't done that. That says a lot. Task Force has yet to explain why Tim Homeseth is in the situation he's in to begin with. Tim Homeseth said in a tape that I heard that he didn't go anywhere in the state of Minnesota, yet you don't see him. So, why is it any of your business, Task Force? This is the thing I don't understand. You read this stuff from Task Force. She's barging in. What difference does it make who paid for whose education? There is a right in this country to spend money any way one sees fit as long as they do it legally. Sheesh, weird. No, I don't live in a swamp. I mean, you're supposed to know the state of Florida if you're who I think you are. And I'm 340 feet above sea level, so there's no swamp up here. And you're avoiding my questions, which is no surprise. You've yet to answer any of my questions. You haven't done so in 7 years. I mean, Task Force lives in a car full of junk. If Task Force is alive, that is. Task Force has yet to answer the question about why we have not seen a live stream of Tim Homeseth in 7 months. Why is he hiding? He's supposed to be the media spokesperson for a government agency, which means he's being paid by the taxpayers to report. You need to learn how to spell, Task Force. You're supposed to be a professional, yet you can't even spell. And I know that Timmy's handler doesn't know anything about business. She went and filed bankruptcy. That's poor business decision. There should be no reason to file bankruptcy, especially in that line of work. Oh, here we go. We got a racist and a bigot now. We always knew that about Task Force, talking about black people. Kind of interesting. Well, we know that Task Force is a racist and a bigot, and she redacted the message because she knows she screwed up. The problem is everybody's seen it. So, don't say something if you're not going to leave it, Task Force. Of course, everybody, I've talked to people about the parties up there, and they're both racists and bigots. You've already done it, Task Force. You've admitted it. That photo's been distributed. Astro sent that picture to everybody. So. Fox Nation's just going to throw it in the dumpster if they don't report you for bullying and harassment. Because sending pictures like that of people around the country is illegal if you don't realize that. Of course, you guys don't know anything about the law anyway, so kind of like arguing with the dead. Well, see, that's the thing. To add that, you just, okay, I'm going to screenshot that. Because that just, now that I know the source of the picture, I can get Astro prosecuted. Because now Astro's in trouble. So that statement's going to be sent to the authorities. Okay, so let's look at it this way. You're saying that Astro took the picture off a Facebook account and she distributed it. That's against the law. Look it up. But you said that you had possession of a photograph that was given to you that without the owner's permission. That's violation of the copyright of that person. That has nothing to do with fair use. And you distributed it. That's a violation of the law. So that's fine. I'm going to send the link. I'm going to send the screenshot to the appropriate authorities, and you can argue with them about it. Since, maybe you can get E-Clause to send a piece of paper to the judge when that trial comes up. Doesn't matter if it's a public Facebook. You took a photograph that did not belong to you and you redistributed it. Look it up. It's called bullying. And why did you delete the post? If you weren't scared, why did you delete the post? Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to send it to the county and to the city. But it's going to go to the FBI. Because everything that she says about anybody gets archived. She says that, she saw her mistake and deleted the post. She was in the right. Why did she delete the post? She stated that Astro sent her the picture. No, I won't. I've already talked to the court. You know, you said the same thing the last time you were in here. Well, if you don't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. But you are taking a picture that does not belong to you, and you are sending it to a person's place of employment or potential employment with the intent of making it impossible for that person to make a living. That's bullying. Under what yeah, you make a lot of statements, task force, but you don't back it up with proof. Anybody can say anything on here, but you don't back it up with anything. Strange. Look at how many accounts that you people have lost, including the one right here. The High Command. Account is temporarily restricted. You guys went out and started another one. Yeah, that's a good point, Chad. I mean, we're supposed to have all these powerful people like the E-Claws and the High Command and the Task Force, and yet they can't get Field McConnell released. Really weird. These people are supposed to be all this important things, and they can't do anything. Supposed to be, they've got pictures of Field McConnell with the President of the United States, and he can't do anything. He can't call up the Republican governor of the state of Florida and have him pardoned. Yep, they're the band command, all right. Oh, they showed it from day one. I mean, Tim Holmseth has been making claims since 2008. The statute of limitations is passed years ago on stuff. Even if his fake charges were true, nobody can be prosecuted because of the statute of limitations, so he's lost. They don't even know the law. Jeez. Well, Golden Mare, I don't do politics all that much. I'm nonpartisan. I do support the Democrats and a lot of stuff, but I am not registered in any political party. So, no task force. You'll probably lose yet another Twitter account. Satanic ritual religion. Oh, what happened to the I thought religion was a constitutional right. I don't care what you call me. I really don't, Task Force. I really don't give a damn. You're a fraud, Task Force. There is, this reminds me of a woman that actually states that she's a witch. Alex, you know who I'm talking about. Maybe she could put a curse on her. Or him. Whoever it is. Because Task Force won't identify who they are. No, that's not the way the Constitutional reads. You better reread that, because there is nothing in the Constitution that says only Christian religions are allowed. So you might want to read the Constitution. Well, this proves over and over again that task force is a bigot. Now, Sharia law is, it's basically Islam, but it's misstated by bigots like the task force. I have read the real Constitution, task force. I don't know what Constitution you're reading, but it's the Constitution that a certain judge in Minnesota is sworn to uphold and protect. And she's not doing it. So, you're just looking yourself look extremely foolish, task force. I have read the real Constitution. You haven't. William Murtaugh. Yeah, that's my name, last I checked. How is Lawrence doing, by the way? Lawrence H. Boom, boom. $9.98. Well, we're creeping back up again. You seem to be really, really obsessed with Levi Page. Really strange. Curtine Grace. Who the hell is Curtine Grace? A lot of names being thrown around here that I don't know yet. I mean, Task Force must be pretty damn lonely. There's nothing going on with QAnon. I guess QAnon's not putting up any of these little messages or the number thing or talking about Krakens or any of this stuff, so she's got to come in here. This says a lot about QAnon and about that group because they've got to come in this tiny little group, no they won't. I think Timothy Charles Homeseth might be in jail. But what crime has Levi committed? What crimes has Monograph committed? You people throw around these false accusations and they never come true. And I don't get it. If all these people have to do is go harassing these small YouTube channels, then they're nothing. Why did you ask Monograph that question, Task Force? I don't know. I don't care if he is. It's easy to get somebody's DNA. It's not hard at all. No, he's not. I don't see where, if anybody's running scared, it's Tim Holmseth, because Tim Holmseth is not around. Again, why isn't Tim Holmseth doing live videos? He hasn't been live anywhere. Nowhere. Newsmax, Cindy Powell, Devin Nunes, all Republicans. Interesting. So like I say, this is all politics. Weird. Why? Timmy's the coward. Stupid channels. This is how obsessed these people are with me. They keep making these channels. On Task Force, this is supposed to be a organization that's saving 15, 20,000 kids, and yet they're trolling a channel with 31 people in it. Now, how is that rescuing children? How is threatening to send somebody a picture of some guy in his underwear rescuing children? Doesn't understand that. Brian Erickson. Well, hello, Brian. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, but you still haven't answered my question. What is your obsession with that? Why are you obsessed with Levi? And Monograph made a movie, so what? What does this have to do with your so-called mission? You refuse to answer the question. What is your obsession with Levi Page? Why won't you answer the question? There's a lot of questions you refuse to answer. Why is that? You come in here and you lie about people, you attack people, yet you won't answer a few simple questions. This is the point that I'm trying to make when it comes to people like the task force. They make all these claims, they make all these promises, and when you confront them, they just clam up. They change the subject, they attack people, they threaten people, and that's it. She's threatening people on here and won't own up to it. And it's the same thing with the Twitter channel. They put up articles on Twitter that are false, defamatory, and slanderous. Well, I guess Levi will have to answer that one, but I just did it for you. Tim Holmseth lies about people. He's lied about me for almost a decade. He's made false accusations against me for decades. Even after I defended him, he made false accusations against me, and he's done it as late as today. So that's the and that's why you won't answer the question. Why do you keep making these false accusations against me? Why are you lying about my association with people? That's all you know how to do is lie, Task Force. Lie, 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 lie. And you're supposed to be a Christian, yet you don't know what the meaning of a 10th commandment is. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So, see, you're ignoring me, Task Force. You're talking about Levi, but you're not answering any of my questions. I find that remarkable. This is, everybody just look at the post that Task Force is making. Check out the Twitter accounts that Task Force puts up. Task Force is off mission. Task Force does not talk about anything other than false accusations against people. They've been harassing this lawyer from Florida. Now they're rape apologists. They make bigoted remarks. And then when confronted with it, they just ignore and continue with their defamatory post. This is what Task Force is. Task Force is a liar. Task Force is a fraud. Task Force is a scammer. Pure and simple. And their various Twitter accounts prove it. Their BitChute account proves it. Their other accounts that they have that they think we don't know about prove it. They're all frauds. Every single solitary one of them. Well, looks like that got cleaned out. It's interesting that here we are, 17 days out from a murder, and all we can do is talk about people that have nothing to do with the case. It's all this defamation that goes on with Task Force, and the fart command. So, it's sad, really. Well, shoot. I guess she passed out or ran away or something. I think Task Force left. I don't know. It got real quiet all of a sudden. I mean, I think Task Force ran out of material, actually. It was carping about Levi and me, and never did get to the reason she asked about whether my windows were open or not. I don't understand that question. It's the way my studio is set up. I don't have access to windows. Or, to where the windows can be opened. And they all think, it's funny, they're all obsessed about where I live and whether or not I have air conditioning, stuff like that. So we got kind of a class war going on here. It would cost me about $6,000 to get my furnace fixed, and even then, it costs about $200 a month to run it, which I can't afford. So the furnace stays unrepaired, and I don't have air conditioning. And at this time of the year, it's really not necessary because it's getting cooler out. It's not exactly cool enough yet, but it's getting there. So I don't know what the deal is with the question. But you notice I asked Task Force a lot of questions, and Task Force didn't answer a single one of them. Task Force was a rape apologist. She said that people that actually had confessed to digital rape were going to have their sentences expunged, even though these people have been out of jail and have gone on with their lives. She makes these idiotic statements and then doesn't back them up with facts. She says I'm going to be banned from the Broward County Court. I'd like to see her try. Because there is such a thing called the Constitution. So there's no banning anything, and it's probably going to be done by a Zoom conference because of the coronavirus anyway. But it's going to be a long time. I don't know when they're going to have the McConnell case move forward. That's just, every time I go in there, there's nothing going on. Got aggravated stalking is the charge against Phil McConnell. Last entry in the court documents was the 18th of August. And there is nothing scheduled on the docket. Melody, there's always going to be troll accounts. That's the nature of the beast. And this pretend Twitter account that came in here, and not sure what they were trying to do, but they came in here and had their, did whatever they did, and they didn't accomplish a damn thing. So interesting. Alright, I think what I'm going to do, folks, is it's 11:45. I've got an early Wheels Up tomorrow. Ark Mosey, Phil McConnell could have avoided this whole thing by simply keeping his mouth shut. He made death threats, and he just wouldn't leave people alone. That's why he got in the trouble he got in. If he had stayed away from Timmy, he would have been a whole hell of a lot better off. It seems anybody that gets around that character gets their ass burned. Phil McConnell, Chris Hallett, all these people. They're finding out that if they had done something a little different, they wouldn't have happened to them what happened to them. But they decided to take the course they did, and now they gotta bear the consequences of their actions. And yeah, Timothy's a Jonah, all right. But anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're nipping close yet again to the 1,000 mark. We were over there briefly and then it popped back down again. We're at 998 right now. So if we can get enough people to get it up over 1,000 and keep it there, then I will have accomplished one goal. It's taken, it's this one step forward, two step backwards thing we keep doing. We keep going up 998 and then dropping back down, then going back up, then coming back down. But we are at 998 now, so like, subscribe, share, let people know about the channel, and hopefully we'll get it built back up again and move forward with some of the new stuff that I want to do going into the new year. And I will be doing it is a truth channel as much as I can make it, Melody. I do make the disclaimer that most of what is talked here is my opinion based on information that I'm able to find from what I consider reasonable sources. But unlike other people, I recommend that everybody do their own homework. Do your research, look at multiple sources, seek out verifiable sources, and then judge from there. I do not pretend to be an expert in anything. I am a retired truck driver. I operate this small channel. I am not hooked to any branch of the United States government. I'm not an operative for any branch of the United States government. I'm just me with my little channel here. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Have a good weekend, what's left of it. I will be doing a mobile presentation probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for my mobile thons. And this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one. Good night. Boop. Beep.